Augmentations in Monster Hunter World are endgame upgrades you can do to unlock some very powerful abilities and stats. With armors, you can lift the upgrade cap, allowing you to put more armor spheres in to upgrade them further, massively increasing the total defense that the pieces have. Where it gets really cool though is that you can augment your weapon, and the most exciting one that you can do is the Health Regen Augmentation, giving your weapon 7.5% lifesteal of damage dealt with the first level of health regen. You're only able to augment end of tree fully upgraded weapons, and for this reason most players are really interested in getting their rarity 12 weapons augmented. However, the materials required for this are locked behind MR100, which can take about 100 hours after beating the campaign to get to. But if you're really keen on getting a lifesteal health regen augmented weapon, you can actually achieve this from MR50 onwards for a rarity 10 end of tree weapon. I'm going to go over all the materials required to do this, how you can get them, and then even show off what the augmented weapon might look like during a typical hunt. I'm Lighted Up Dan. The sort of content I love to produce aims to reduce the overwhelm and unknown of the Monster Hunter games. If you're interested in learning more about the standard typical health regen for rarity 12 weapons, I've already done a full guide on that, you can check that out. The channel's currently sitting around 80% unsubscribed viewers, with the majority of you returning from shorts or otherwise. If you enjoy the videos, do subscribe, and with that said, let's jump in. 7.5% of damage dealt as lifesteal is incredibly strong. I'm not entirely sure if it's worth dropping down to an end of tree rarity 10 weapon for, but having the option to try it out is pretty cool, and you can always compare with your current setup. First things first, find an easy to make rarity 10 weapon. Something like the Tsitsi Yaku longsword or the Kula Yaku hammer for example. It'll depend on which weapon you like to use. Hammer and sword and shield are my mains, so I'm going to use hammer as an example, but you can apply it for whatever weapon that you like to use. Just have a look through the weapon trees. You're also going to have to make sure that you've lifted the MR50 cap, otherwise your guiding lands levels will be capped at level 4 and you're going to need the coral region to be at level 5. Don't worry if any of the required materials here aren't showing up, it just means that you haven't picked one of them up before. The first one at the top are the tempered rend claws. You get these from tempered Odogarans, which you'll need the coral region to be at level 5 for, which we just mentioned. Then you've got the ink stained oil shell pluses, which are dropped from Radabans in rotten regions of level 3 or lower. If for whatever reason you do face tempered Radabans instead, you should be able to downgrade these 1-for-1 at the smelly Elder Melder Smelter. Oh boy, does she stink! The Spirit Vein slog bones are dropped by threat level 1 tempered monsters in the guiding lands. You'll get loads of them from any weak tier 1 tempered monster like Paolumu or whatever. And the effluvial frenzy bones are gathered from the bone nodes in the rotten region, which you can go around and gather from whilst you're doing the Radaban. If you need to level up any regions, the best way to do it is to fight monsters from those regions, especially the ones that are exclusive to them. Pick up as many of their tracks as possible, repeatedly trap them, and get as many part breaks as possible as well. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, but it's kind of a one-time thing. Once you've done it, you can fix your regions and you don't need to worry about it again. Hopefully you've got an Odogaran lore, otherwise you're just gonna have to wait around and get lucky for one to show up. Call it out over to your level 5 or above coral region. This will guarantee that it spawns as a tempered Odogaran, which you're going to need it to be. Make sure you've got one level of geologist on any of your preferred builds, as this allows you to pick up the dropped shinies twice over in the guiding lands. And go and find that red savage beastie and beat it to death. Revenge for all the times it bled you out and you had to awkwardly crouch in the middle of the fight to hope to get rid of it. Part breaks and wall bangs are going to be especially useful here because you'll get a lot of shiny drops from them, allowing you to maximize on your tempered rend claw haul. The amount you see that I had was after just one fight, so you can walk away with 20 plus. Even if you're looking at doing these augments for a few rarity 10 weapons, you won't have to do much of this. Same goes for the Radaban here. Lure it out to a level 3 or lower rotten region, ensuring it won't be tempered, but again, if you do get a tempered one for whatever reason, like your rotten region is maxed out on 7 or whatever, you can always 1-for-1 downgrade them at the smelly Elder Melder Smelter. Again, she stinks. Heartbreaks galore, get your wall bangs, maximize on those shinies so you can walk away with a ton of ink stained oil shell pluses, so you don't need to do this damn thing anymore. Assuming you've already got some Spirit Vein slog bones, or you're gonna go out and fight some tempered tier 1 monsters and sort that out by yourself, the only one left then is your effluvial frenzy bone. Easy enough, just go around the rotten region and gather at the bone nodes. If you've got some sort of gathering loadout where you've got maximum geologist, stealth, intimidator, all these things that just make it less of a pain in the ass to gather, maybe nip back to camp and quickly stick that loadout on. Just keep hitting the bone nodes. You've got anywhere between a 27 to a 35% chance of getting them, depending on what tier the bone nodes are at. This is probably the most annoying one because for all of the monster parts, you'll probably get a massive pile of them. So you'll only probably need to do one of each of those and you'll have this massive stockpile so you can augment a bunch of different weapons. But there ain't no real shortcut for the effluvial frenzy bones, you just need to get stuck in and keep gathering. Go into Minecraft mode. After you've grabbed all of your goodies and you've got your rarity 10 end of tree weapon ready to go, head over to the forge, slap the smithy on the head for good luck, and then you can put health regen 1 on your weapon. Congratulations, you now have 7.5% lifesteal of all damage dealt with a weapon. It's crazy. It does have an internal cooldown of 0.2 seconds, so any multi-hitting weapons, namely dual blades and the range weapons, won't benefit as much from the health regen, but they still do benefit enormously. I'm going to take this freshly augmented hammer out for a spin up against a tempered Frostfang Barrier in the last White Knight event. For the wonderful Frostfang Barrier gear, you should do this event. I'll leave it unedited so you can see what a typical hunt might look like when you're opting to take one of these weapons out in place of your usual one. I purposely play quite clumsily and take a bunch of hits so you can see the life regen at work. As mentioned at the start, the channel's sitting around 80% unsubscribed viewers, with the majority of you returning from shorts or otherwise. If you enjoy the videos, do subscribe. We run open lobbies with a mature and inclusive community over on Discord and during the live streams on Twitch. I will leave all of these links for you in the description. Thanks for watching, enjoy your MR50 health regen and my hunt with it, and until next time, I'll see you in the new world.